During World War II, you and your family were sent to live in an internment camp just because you were Japanese American, but somehow you were able to overcome the injustices and mistreatment of the camp. Now you're an example for teens across America who are bullied just because of ethnicity. Can you share with us like how you overcame bullying and injustice?
Well, using my life experience in terms of being a Japanese American and being incarcerated in Japanese American internment camps in 1942 to the current age of 72,
Yeah.
it's a long process by which I was able to sort of work out this whole issue of being bullied. And I suspect I was a bully myself at some point in time, but not to a point where I drove people crazy or or drove them to a point of suicide or
Yeah.
things like that. But that kind of an experience was a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why bullying is so important to me today as an adult, as a father, as a teacher, as a policymaker is that I want it to be the process of dealing with it compressed in such a short time that it's doable for young people
Yeah.
and figure out how to have young people look at this whole behavior of bullying and be able to deal with it as a victim and as a perpetrator, because the perpetrator has to be dealt with also. Besides just being a victim and trying to figure out how you deal with that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to make sure that we emphasize is that bullyism is not only an individual young person thing. In my opinion, the idea that some people thought that the United States became the only superpower, and how do we use this status of superpower in order to effect some special interests of some folks in this country, and how do we stop that kind of bullyism where a single superpower can throw their weight around and expect to get away with it. Okay, and so that's the seamless stream and line of bullyism from the individual to a nation.
Okay.
And it's an issue of control and power. Okay, so what my life experience has taught me to look at all those things in that light, that bullyism not only exists with individuals, communities, but as it's as evident to me among superpowers. In this case, the United States being the only superpower.
Yeah.
So the journey was long, and my purpose is to shorten that timeline and have people become aware of it earlier and do something about it as individuals and as citizens of this country.
So, what message of hope could you give teens who have been beaten down by bullying?
It seems like a simple question with a simple answer by just saying, just don't put up with it. Well, it's more difficult than that. I think to talk to your parents and also have your parents go to the school district and talk to not only the superintendent, different administrative officers, but also school district, to have a school district have a policy that says, these kinds of behaviors are not acceptable. But in doing so, not to have people get suspended, have zero tolerance, because all that does is exacerbate the situation, makes it worse. But it doesn't really solve a problem. It eliminates the person or the activity for that moment, because they're always out there. There's no learning taking place. So that's one. Two, have a process in the school district and in schools where rules are created, rules of behavior, which is also part of rules of instruction and how teachers and students interact, how teachers behave, because adults in the schools can be bullies too. We can say, just because I said so, could be enough to keep some youngsters from being who they really need to be. So it's not only students, it's not only the school teachers, but also the other adults in the schools.
Yeah.
And recognizing that bullying is a behavior sometimes that we don't even sometimes know that we're doing it.
Yeah.
It could be a facial expression, it's a way of control and power over students, or it could be control and power between students, because someone's bigger than somebody else, or they just have some reason for picking on somebody because of their dress, because of their religion, because of their color, because how their personal behavior could be viewed as being effeminate, and therefore they're going to attack somebody, thinking that they're you know, gay, lesbian, and all those things are not acceptable because all those things are part of an individual.
Yeah. So, how can Bullyvention work together with the Anti-Bullying Caucus, which you've started, to get Congress to take action now?
Well, there's about 3 or 4 Congress people who are putting bills together to collect information to see how prevalent this situation is. And we could write laws, and we could write all kinds of bills to try to control people's behaviors. But I'm not sure that we can legislate individual behavior and expect to see a result overnight.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts to have certain kinds of expectations of schools and teachers and students, but I think that good training of adults, whether they're parents or teachers, that we have the insights that something's going on. That So, bully, your website, bully prevention. Bullyvention, pretty cool actually. Bullyvention can be a place where young people, people can go to see what else is happening. It can be a place where people can contact each other with some privacy and confidentiality. It can be a place where you can have activities or groups who are providing workshops.
Yeah.
It could be Boy Scouts, it could be Girl Scouts, it could be YMCA, YWCA, it could be church groups. And it could be a clearinghouse where the Bullyvention, I'll learn how to say it. Bullyvention will become a place where people get frustrated, can go right straight to, because it's kind of easy to remember.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to remember how to say it, but I'll know where to look for it as a reference point too. You could be like you could be like a mirror, or you can be like a lighthouse. A mirror meaning that it could reflect other people's activities that are good, that will help other people so they can look at it. Or it can be a lighthouse where you can shine a light onto situations that need to be addressed.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So I'm encouraging teens to raise their pens, to write to their members of Congress, and to share their stories and demand action. Will you raise your pen and submit an op-ed as well?
Will I do what?
Will you raise your pen and submit an op-ed for our site as well?
Will I raise my pen?
Yeah. Like write to us.
That's kind of
Like
a fancy way of saying, will I write? Huh? Raise my pen? Yeah, I'll raise my pen. We have done that, and we've worked with, it started with the movie industry, giving the classification of, what's the name of that film? what's the name of that film that came out on bullyism? Remember? It got an R rating. And that's where it all started.
It's called bullying. It's called bullying.
Oh, okay. It's called Bullying, and even on Netflix now. It's on Netflix. You know, it's got the logo where it's got a yellow button that says Bullying, and then it's got a slash across it. So it's in Netflix too. So people should look at that. But also, what we did is we argued with the classification system to change it from R, which restricted youngsters to seeing it, to G, where it's allowable for young people to see it. And the reason they said it was R because of the language.
Yeah.
And my argument against R and 4G is that when youngsters are bullying, they don't use polite language.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing new there that youngsters have not heard or seen in real life. So, you know, it's really a depiction of real life, and it's an opportunity for young people to see the film and say, that's happened to me, it should stop. And then if they know about bullyvention, then they can go to that place for help. But I think the bullyvention is a local website that people can go to get help, and you know, it could be a directory, a redirecting of efforts,
Yeah.
and a resource.
Totally. Thank you for your time and your words and.
Well, I hope it's helpful, but
Yeah.
I think more than anything else, I think you're to be thanked for having the idea of putting something together that would create a place for some people to go to, something that's has not been in existence before.
Yeah.
And so it's like me spending all my life to come up with an answer for myself. You're probably under 17.
Yeah.
But using technology at a very early age, you figure it out. Here's one avenue to look for solutions.
Yeah.
And it's a solution, but it's a clearinghouse. It's someplace that people have where they didn't have it before. You never know. You might prevent a suicide. It may prevent other bad things that people do to themselves or do to other people. So,
Okay.
okay.
Show you the website that's currently in development. It'll be up within a week or so. So here it is.
Okay, raise your pen. Got it.
Yeah.
So you're on message when you say when you raise your pen.
Yeah.
You're on message. Yeah, you might as well be a teacher or an activist or a politician.
Thank you.
Thank you.